Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 68. I am Evan.
I'm Ja.
This is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you this Thursday afternoon, Ja?
I'm chilling.
It's good to hear our second to last podcast before the All-Star break. How you feel about that?
It's about time.
And we've been going at it nonstop, haven't missed a day.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised. I was kind of surprised. I thought I would be the one to bait, actually. But you still here.
You tried.
Yeah, I did try. Actually, I did try.
Yep. Stuck in a hotel bathroom. But hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone will have a good day.
Just know I know where you live, sir. That's all I gotta say.
You know where I live, and you know you should get one warning shot. Like I said, second to last episode before the All-Star break, as the rest of all the NBA will be taking a break. We will be taking a break as well. Much needed, much relaxed break.
Yeah.
But we're still here, and we still got some basketball to cover. So let's get into it. First, starting off with, I was gonna say the possible game of the night, but there was another game that was probably the game of the night. But one of the candidates for the game of the night, featuring the Golden State Warriors and the Portland Trail Blazers. This was a fun game, as you would expect, with one team having Steph Curry and another team having Damian Lillard. But the Warriors got out to an early lead. I believe they were up 15-2 against the Blazers. Really hit their stride. The Blazers really couldn't buy the shot. But then they got back into it with their defense. Yep, I know their defense. And a duel between the Warriors all the way to the fourth quarter. Melo led scoring load for the Blazers because Damian Lillard was really struggling, was really cold, had 12 points entering the fourth. As for the Warriors, Curry, he was being chased off the three-point line the entire night. So he got a lot of his production inside in the interior and in the paint, and that's where he was thriving. I believe he had 27 entering the fourth. In that fourth quarter, it was just back and forth, big shot after big shot. Draymond hit some big shots. Curry got it going from the three. Couldn't stop holding three throughout the entire game. So he got it going from three. Dame stepped up big time. He had 12 points entering the fourth quarter. Had 10 points in the fourth quarter. Also, like I said, it was a duel back and forth. It led to the final moments, the final few seconds, the final few minutes of the game. And in late game situations with the Portland Trail Blazers, you know what time it is. It is only one man's time, and it's Dame time. Yep, just point to your wrist. And Damian Lillard with another clutch shot, step back three on Kent Bazemore after being down by one on the Warriors to take the lead, being up by two. Not only that, but on the other side of the ball, Draymond Green going to the paint, getting the layup, but a charge was called, an offensive foul. Damian Lillard was the one who drew it, stepping up, putting his body on the line. And even though Covington almost baited and missed two free throws, the Warriors had challenged that play. They had no timeouts, and there was only 4 seconds left. So it was a half-court heave by Damian Lee. And as a result, the Trailblazers offer the game winner by Damian Lillard, and the charge beat the Warriors. Your thoughts?
Just a competitive, great battle from beginning to end. It amazes me, and it's crazy that we talk about this, but surprisingly, the defense saved them, and it's amazing how the Blazers was able to still stick around with this Warriors team, despite the fact that their star guard was was struggling for most of the game. But speaking of that star guard, he will always be a prime example in the NBA today of like no matter how much you start, it's always going to be about the fact how you expect to execute and finish down the line. and he was a constant prime example of that. Like, you know, he basically showed you 12 points entering the fourth quarter, 10 points to end it, clutch dagger game on the game winner, basically. Like, you know,
Yep.
and like it took the best play, and even though that was even the best play of it, it was the charge, taking the charge, took his body sacrifice, and that changed the whole momentum of the game. It made the Warriors challenge that play, and it was deemed unsuccessful. That's the things what you want to do in order to get into the rhythm and the flow of the game and give your team some some hope, because they were down for majority of the game. So just
Yes.
great job by Damian Lillard, and great job by the Blazers sticking around.
Yep. That's what a leader does. Stepping up to the plate, doing what you need to do, not only on the offensive side, but also on the defensive side.
Yep.
And that's what matters. That's what matters the most. And in the end, Dame with just surprising us. No matter how many times you think there's a limit to the amount of things that he can do in terms of late game situations, but then he just does it again and again and again. I mean, think
Hey,
about all these clutch plays he had this season. Think about the comeback against the Bulls and the buzzer beating three. Think
yep.
about the and one against the Pelicans. The step back against the Mavs.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just unbelievable late game. Yeah, he's just unbelievable in late game situations in the fourth quarter. He's just amazing. It
Hey,
really is Dame time.
yep. Hey man, just like with a few plays in this league, you could really make a book about Damian Lillard's impact throughout majority of his career, and you get a full lengthy chapter book. Trust me.
You probably get two books.
Yeah, two books, part one and part two, maybe a
Yep.
part.
Yep. Part one probably ending with the Houston buzzer beater. Or
Yep.
probably, get three books. Part one ending with the Houston buzzer beater. Part two ending with the OKC buzzer beater. And then part three, well, it's
Right.
unfinished right now.
Yep. Writing itself in progress.
Yep. But a big time win by the Blazers against the Warriors.
Yep.
All right. Going to the other game early in the night, the Nets and the Houston Rockets. Of course, James Harden's return to Houston. Got a pretty warm reception out of the 3,000 people that were there. Of course, no, not really a big crowd. They
Yeah.
do plan on they do retire his jersey. They will hang it up in the rafters, of course, when he does retire. But as of now, no man, no basketball player will be allowed to wear number 13 on the Houston Rockets. I mean, that's just some of the things that they rewarded him with, as he's been rewarding Houston his entire time there. So
Yeah.
props to the Rockets with their amazing tribute and that jersey retiring that they had said that they was going to do. But as terms of the game, a lot of offense, a lot of shooting. John Wall and Victor Oladipo had it going offensively, and that was pretty much it for the Rockets because they didn't have it going defensively, especially down the stretch.
Yeah.
The Nets really took control in this game, really in that second half.
Yeah.
James Harden, a flamethrower. I forgot who said that, but that's Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan. Yeah, Kevin Harlan said that a few years back or whatever. But he had to do it to his old team. Almost a 30-point triple double. It was one point shy, I believe, from a triple double. Kyrie stepped up, a lot of from some bench production, really balanced scoring in terms of the offensive load, and they really just took it to the Rockets in that second half. And as a result, this was just a blowout.
Yeah. It amazes me because watching the game, there were certain points where Houston actually did catch a stride, though. They did catch a stride in a specific point in the game in which they were close to, like, I believe they went down from being down big to making it like a 12-point deficit, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which is amazes me. And then they had like rooms of daylight, but again, it's this Nets team. This Nets team is just too OP offensively.
Yeah.
And they had big runs. They had big runs and big lead for majority of this whole game. So just great. Kyrie being the dance instructor that he is, Harden being the dance instructor himself also, but yeah, he's being more of that, like, that flamethrower, like how you put it. And when you have them two going, the whole Nets team has it going. DeAndre Jordan looked like he back in Lob City a little bit with the way he's been catching lobs as of recently. Like,
Like I said, Joe Harris has the easiest job in the world playing with those guys. I mean, it's just crazy.
and do we got to remind people that the fact that they did this again? I know the team that they played against, but they've been doing this so far with no KD, and we must have forgot that the fact that Spencer Dinwiddie's not playing.
Yeah. Well, I haven't mentioned Spencer Dinwiddie because I mean he hasn't been playing for the entire season. So, but KD's been out for just these past what, like 6 games, I believe.
Yeah, but just think about that though. They added new additions, and we still forgot that the fact that KD's been out as of recently, and Dinwiddie has been out because of his injury. So they're not even healthy technically,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah,
doing
you're
this.
right.
Amazing. It's
They're doing
amazing.
this all without their best player, which is amazing. You can't give enough praise to the Nets. As for the Rockets, another loss. They're on a 13-game losing streak now. I don't know. So I guess they just got to get healthy. So they just got to get right down there in Houston.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
Harden,
as a
you want?
result, James Harden does lead the Nets to a win against his former team, and his teammates did show him love after the game. So that was nice to see. Like I said, the Nets getting another victory, only half a game back from the first place Philadelphia 76ers, which I guess we should talk about right now because they went against the first place Utah Jazz in the entire NBA.
Yeah, this was just basically a statement when. Oh, well, let's just get out the way. Yep, Philadelphia did win the game, and this was just basically like a statement win for them in a way. Like, you know what I mean? It was a tough back and forth, great offensively, great defensively game between both teams. Um, the Jazz had a huge run in that first half, in which, like, you know, they were, I believe they were up by, I believe, like 17 at one point, like 15 to 17 points. Donovan Mitchell, Clarkson, Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, like all those guys there. Like, you know, again, the system is amazing up there, but yet, you know, but I believe the moment the third quarter hit, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, who had it going the whole night actually, and three-point shooting, defensive 3-point shooting that third quarter basically helped bring Philly not back into this game, but kept them close all the way to that fourth quarter, in which when it came down the stretch, for it should by basically both teams. But yeah, I would like to pinpoint the fact that the Sixers, not only did they have the offensive production, but they some big clutch defensive plays. Some big clutch defensive plays down the stretch, especially by the MVP, the possible MVP if the
MVP candidate, yeah.
candidate, if the league if the season ended today, he would probably be MVP. Joel Embiid. He had a big block on Mitchell, and most importantly, he had the big shot.
Yep, the
The big
going to
3-point.
the behind the line because they were down by 3 with
Yep.
like 6 seconds remaining. They needed a 3, and Embiid stepped up to the plate. A
Yep.
tough shot, made it. That's what your best players can do for you.
Yep, it looked like he was about to lose it, but yet, and it was a good defense. I don't remember, I forgot who was on him, but it was good defense by whoever was on him, and yet it was just a better shot by him. He just had it going that whole night, and was able to send it into overtime. Went to overtime, and they basically finished off. And Tobias Harris put in
Yeah,
work.
Tobias Harris really dominated that OT.
Yeah.
In his return game after missing, I believe, 2-3 games for
Yep.
them. So he stepped up big time, and you see what a fully healthy Sixers can do.
Yep.
And this is just really fun. I mean, these are the two best teams in the NBA in terms of your record. So I was really impressed with how the Sixers played. Really impressed with Tobias Harris play. Really impressed with the team. Really impressed with the defense. The comeback on the Jazz because the Jazz really had the lead throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
For the most part. And really impressed with Embiid. I mean, MVP'd, as I like to say, 40 points and 19 rebounds. I mean, the big man is back. He's just been dominating. this league this season right now.
Mhm.
Nobody has been able to stop him. I think it was like his fourth 40-point 10 rebound game. I mean, it's
This
ridiculous
weekend.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. He deserves all praise in the world, whether he is your MVP or he isn't your MVP. He deserves all the praise in the world. Just beating the Jazz, revenging that loss they had against the Jazz early in the season.
Mhm. But he
And
didn't play in that game.
oh yeah, he didn't play in that game. Yeah, I forgot. And it's funny. Simmons did have 42 in that game, and Clarkson had
Yep.
40 in that game. Now I think about it, but yeah, getting that loss back, being the best team in the NBA, and otherwise furthering yourself that we are a legit threat.
Right. Yep.
We're the best team in the East for a reason.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna hold my tongue about how I feel about that, but yep. Good job by them.
Well, in terms of the record,
Yeah, in terms of the record, yes, I know.
yeah.
Like I know, yeah, but I said in terms of them being potential threats, yes, they are. But I'm gonna hold my tongue about how I feel about it.
All right, but nonetheless, a great statement win by this Philadelphia Sixers team up against the Jazz. Maybe Donovan Mitchell should stop getting so hot-headed. Because you know how these refs are. They're just throwing texts everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that Montrezl Harrell got a text for saying "and one"?
Yeah. Yep. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, Donovan, you maybe should calm down, especially when MB is the best instigator in the world.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I said, amazing performance by the Sixers team in an overtime win against the Jazz. All right. Any other game that you would like to speak on?
Pacers versus Cavs, and let's just get it out the way so quickly. The start of the night. Out of all people, who you think will be the start of the night when you're looking at both of these teams, Cavs, Pacers? Oh, you think Sabonis, you think Brogdon, you think Sexton, you think like
Garland.
Garland, like you think these guys, and and don't get me wrong, those guys had really good games, but yet they weren't the start of the night though. The start of the night went to a dude named TJ. TJ finished off the night with a triple-double, which did not include like no kind of just points, assists, rebounds. It was points, assists, steals. Was what had 11 steals, 11 steals,
10
10 steals.
steals, one steal away from tying the NBA record.
Just he had the true impact throughout the whole game. You could see the way he did it, and mind you, this happened mainly in the second half. You saw everything start to unfold in the second half, and you start to see the whole stride just take over from that point. In
Well,
which
for the Pacers, right?
for
Or
the
are you talking
Pacers,
about
yes,
for McConnell? Oh, okay.
for
Go on,
the
say.
Pacers, for the Pacers, they were down. The Cavs had them down by a lot. Mind you, again, Sexton had it going, Garland had it going, a dude named Dean Wade had it going. All these like it was just all Cavs for majority to the game up until that second half hit, in which the third quarter just like everything just started to go into their way and momentum, in which again, McConnell hitting shots, Brogdon hitting shots, Sabonis working inside, 3-point shooting, defense, like the stride just changed, and as it went down, the Pacers basically took momentum and took the lead and ran away with that from that point.
Yep. Pacers getting a good win, much needed win, because that Eastern Conference they need to get back in that fold, dropping.
Yeah.
But yeah, good win by the Pacers team and TJ McConnell. Historic performance, 9 steals in the first half, a NBA record, and 10 steals in the game, and a clutch steal in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, man.
So yeah.
Yep, that fourth quarter clutch steal that gave Jeremy Lamb the dunk.
So great win by this Pacers team. Historic performance by TJ McConnell. All right. Before we go into predictions, some news around the league. There will be no Rising Stars game, as there's just All-Star Sunday. Yeah. So the All-Star events, the Skills Challenge, 3-point dunk contest, and the All-Star game. So no Rising Stars game, but There was a roster announced, just for like
Just
an
like
achievement.
yep.
Yeah, just for like an achievement for those playing on that league, playing on that team. So here it is. The team USA team featured LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, DeAndre Hunter, Kendall Johnson, John Morant, Michael Porter Jr., Zion Williamson, and James Wiseman as a USA team. The world team features Precious Achua, Nickeil Alexander Walker, Denny.
Benny Avila.
Yeah, Darian D. I always mess up his last name. RJ Barrett, Nick, Facundo Capazzo, Brandon Clark, Lou Dort, Rui Hachimura, Theo Malden, and Michael Mulder. That is the USA and world teams. I'm still looking for Emmanuel Quickly. I think maybe they just left him off the list by accident. Because I think that's a snub, but it's fine, I guess.
It's just a rising star. He'll get it back with making an all-star team in the future.
I mean, Jackson Hayes was upset last year, so. But yeah, that's the rising stars. I guess their former, their all stars or whatever. Oh yeah. All right. That out the way. I don't think there's any other news, right?
No other news.
All right, with that out the way, it is prediction time for tonight's set of games, the last set of games before the All-Star break. So it'll be key for these teams to get a big win right before the break.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the Raptors against the Celtics. What you got?
The Celtics.
Yep, the Celtics. The Clippers or the Wizards?
Clippers.
The Pistons or the Knicks?
Knicks.
The Nuggets or the Pacers?
Nuggets.
The Bucks or the Grizzlies?
Grizzlies.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The first and only primetime game of the night, TNT 8:30. The Miami Heat going up against the New Orleans Pelicans, a Christmas Day rematch. Who you got?
Miami Heat.
Yeah, I got the Miami Heat as well. Pelicans, I don't know, maybe they might win this game because Pelicans are so up and down, inconsistent sometimes. I mean, they beat the Jazz a few nights ago, and then they just lost to the Bulls last night. So I don't know what's up with this Pelicans team. The Thunder or the Spurs?
Spurs.
The Warriors or the Suns?
Warriors. Wait, Suns. Sorry, Suns.
Yes, I got the Suns as well. And lastly, the Kings or the Blazers? Blazers as well. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
The Cavs are really disappointing, man. They made a dude named Timothy James do that. That's crazy. That's all I gotta say. Good night. Embarrassment.
Timothy James.
That's his name. I swear that's his name.
You didn't have to say it like that. So disrespectful.
Okay, I'm sorry. Timothy James did that. Here we go. That sounds better. That sounds more.
Okay, but fine. I guess we'll just leave it like that. That being said, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast, the last podcast before the All-Star break. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also, make sure you follow our IG.
Down in the description below.
Down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.